It's Tuesday, March 12, 2019, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Williams. A woman claiming to be a priest in a video of a child tied up with a rope has gone silent. This after she claimed that the child has demons. The incident, which began circulating on social media on Sunday, is being investigated by both the police and the Child Care Board. Eyewitness Olivia Gittins tells Barbados Today she couldn't stand by and do nothing.
I came outside because all I heard was literally, and I got out and I came out and I saw someone on the ground and I was like, all right, she getting help. Science told me stop and look back, and that's when I saw that it was a little girl with a rope wrapped around her feet and her body and her neck being dried up, and I was in shock. And when I went across to them and started recording, the reason why I posted was because when I stopped recording, they were like, there's nothing I could really do about this, and they just felt like they were right and ignoring the fact that it was a child. And all I thought was that a couple people would have seen this. I didn't expect as much people and the impact it would have had. I just wanted the little girl to know that somebody was there.
With over 120,000 registered vehicles on Barbados' roads, government is taking steps to tackle traffic congestion. Some of the measures being considered include establishing a park and ride system for the city and expediting critical upgrades to road networks. Minister of Transport and Works, Dr. William Duguid, says the problem has gone unchecked for years and is affecting productivity and is damaging the environment and the road network.
Motorists spend too much time stuck in jams. Enough time and fuel that could have been presented as an alternative investment opportunity. Barbados needs urgently to address its own congestion invoice and the associated congestion costs. The ministry has continued to utilize its staff to analyze traffic flows and to implement appropriate traffic management techniques such as the new roundabout at Coverlead villages. Against our ever-growing appetite for car use, we are faced with the immutable realities of the size of the island. A small island of 431 square kilometers with 2.2% of its land already used up for roads. While Barbados may not be able to build many new roads going ahead, the pace of road rehabilitation must intensify.
With tens of thousands of patients passing through its doors annually, the QEH is ramping up safety efforts, and officials say patients need to play their part by providing accurate information. Speaking at an open day yesterday, which formed part of Patient Safety Awareness Week, Director of Medical Services Anthony Harris said some issues could easily be overlooked, and it's important to ensure that all bases are covered.
The Accident and Emergency Department has about 40,000 odd visits a year. We admit 20 to 25,000 patients a year to the wards of the hospital. And the outpatient contacts that when we measure them number anywhere like 90,000 patient contacts that we see. So it is an extremely busy area. We also service over 1,000 prescriptions in our pharmacy a day. So it's very busy, and with these large numbers, it is extremely important that we pay attention to the minutiae and the detail, because if not, a lot of things could happen and slip through the cracks.
Visitor numbers have more than doubled at the St Nicholas Abbey following the addition of a 3-carriage train in January. Owner Larry Warren says locals and tourists have been making use of the family attraction, which forms part of the St Nicholas Abbey Great House Plantation and Distillery experience. He was addressing the official opening ceremony of the St Nicholas Abbey Heritage Railway, which was attended by Prime Minister Mia Mottley, among other officials, yesterday.
It is also important to note that as we consolidate the train and the Great House experience, we're creating a destination in the north of the island that really brings people here, and they will experience an opportunity to stay in the northern part of the island for 3 or 4 hours rather than just come here for 20 minutes or half an hour. And we have very successfully, particularly with the local visitors, connected this to St Nicholas. I think our visitor arrivals at St Nicholas has doubled or more since the train has been operating. So
there's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Over now to Trinidad and Tobago, where all police and special reserve officers will be tested for drugs. Testing begins in 2 months' time and will continue indefinitely. We get the details in this CNC3 report.
The move comes months after Gary Griffith implemented polygraph testing across the service. In a release on Monday, the TTPS says the directive is in accordance with Section 93.3 of the Police Service Regulations, which gives the Commissioner the power to order random drug testing for abuse of dangerous drugs by any officer. Section 151 of the regulations states that any officer who is found to be engaged in drunkenness or drug taking, drinking on duty or soliciting a drink, drinks intoxicating liquor while he's on duty, demands or endeavors to persuade any other person to give him or to purchase or obtain any intoxicating liquor while he's on duty, or reports to duty under the influence of intoxicating liquor or with the odor of intoxicating liquor on his breath, commits a disciplinary offense and is liable to be charged with such. The TTPS says this is a proactive approach aimed at minimizing the possibility of police officers being addicted to illegal drugs, which can hamper performance and ensure that officers do not become involved in any type of criminal activity. Officers have been notified that random testing across the TTPS will begin in 2 months' time and will continue indefinitely.
And finally, Algeria's president has bowed to public pressure and announced he won't run for a 5th term. Yesterday's dramatic announcement follows weeks of mass protests across the country. We get the details from France 24.
Celebrations in the streets of Algiers as news spread that President Abdelaziz Bouteflika would abandon his bid for a 5th term in office. Elections planned for April postponed. Bouteflika's words were delivered to Algerian media in a letter.
The Independent National Conference will decide the date of the next presidential election, in which I will absolutely not be a candidate.
According to statements from the Office of the Presidency, a new constitution is to be put forth for a popular referendum. Both the Prime Minister and his deputy have resigned. Political and economic reforms also promised. Monday's turnabout sees Bouteflika bowing to public pressure after nearly 3 weeks of street protests on a scale not seen since the country's 1962 independence. Hundreds of thousands have come out for near daily demonstrations, sparked on February 10th when the ailing octogenarian leader ended weeks of speculation with an announcement that he would seek a 5th term after already holding office for 20 years. For many Algerians, it was the last straw. Decades under a secretive power structure have concentrated the country's oil and gas wealth in the hands of a small coterie of insiders, leaving the young population seething amid rampant unemployment and official corruption.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.